Good afternoon and welcome to this edition of DMS 3000 News Live. It is episode 69 on this November 8th, 2023. It's Wednesday afternoon and welcome back once again. I'm your host, Jason Nicanio. Hope you're having a fantastic middle of the week. And we are here once again for another edition of our great show that looks into some topics of very great interest and brings them to you as well. The positive side of life is with us here today. We hope that you're enjoying the time slot as we are in our second week of this new time slot. So please tell everybody that we are at now the 4 o'clock, this 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday on StreamYard live via the David 3000 Network and the WJDC studios in beautiful Oviedo, Florida. So with that in mind today, hope you like the new shirt. I'm gracing us with new materials and stuff, and this is just to pretty much get us going here. We got a lot of great stuff to cover today. Of course, we've got the headlines, sports, and other important information. But our first topic of importance today is emotional intelligence, the skill that may be more important than IQ in achieving success, by Tina Donvito. She'll tell us about having that skill that's more important than your intelligence quotient. Yeah, something that, a lot of people measure your IQ by, how you behave, how you act, how you think, but intelligence quotients, IQs, are not what they seem to be, and you can't really base a judgment on people's thinking just based on IQ scores. So she's got a skill that may be more important than that. We'll take a look at that first up there, and then next up, heart attack rates could increase if daylight savings time disappears, say experts. Yeah, they've been threatening to get rid of daylight savings time. I'll have my little commentary about that. But yeah, if you take away daylight savings time, you pretty much throw off everything about a human being's sleep cycle that's very important to them. And the importance of men's friendships and how poker could make them stronger. Maybe playing cards and card games might be the thing that brings men together, men and women especially, if they start, putting those poker nights back again like they did in the 80s and the 90s that we used to watch on TV all the time. Maybe if they weren't throwing the game so badly. But maybe so. I don't know. We'll see if they can bring that back. What Days Today is also available on top of us, ready to go, plus the headline, sports, and other important information. And, of course, our motivation of the day from our wonderful friend who gives us that daily inspiration. And you know who I'm talking about, right? I'll get his name eventually. It is the daily motivation. Name is Ralph Marston. Yes. And we'll be looking at his great motivator today for Wednesday, November 8th. Okay. In the meantime, we have some other interesting news that I'm going to throw forth to you today. 2 YouTube channels I'm going to be shutting down as of this week due to low views, and there's some discrepancies, not so much on the trolls part, but on Facebook and what Facebook is doing to prevent the views that people can get from to YouTube, to stop that. For some reason, they blocked some of my posts, and I have a little bit of a bone to pick with them. I'll do that before the motivation of the day. All right. So with the other important information, we'll get that ready to go. Let's go ahead and get the headline, sports, and other important information ready to go. Yes, let's go ahead and do that right now. So thank you for, again, joining us here. Let's go to npr.com. Get ready for the headlines today. Breaking news analysis and all the other good stuff ready to go. Colorado funeral homeowners arrested following the discovery of 190 decaying bodies. Police searched the Return to Nature funeral home after receiving reports of an abortant smell. The owners are now facing charges of theft, forgery, money laundering, and the abuse of a corpse. Whoa. Having lice ain't nice, but they tell our story concise and precise. A new study shows how the annoying little louse has hitchhiked around the world with humans and has much to teach us about history. Grand Ole Circus du Soleil new show will celebrate Nashville's country music. Cirque du Soleil, or du Soleil, is trading in its trademark world beat vibes for banjos and country two-step for a new show to be unveiled next summer. Russia says International Olympic Committee is giving Israel a pass on Gaza. Russia has been sanctioned by the IOC for actions taken as part of the invasion of Ukraine. Officials in Moscow say Israel is being treated differently by the IOC as fighting continues in Gaza. Let's see. Abortion rights win big in 2023 elections again. Voters in Ohio, Virginia, and Kentucky signaled support for abortion rights, even where it wasn't directly on the ballot, more than a year after the Supreme Court rolled them back. GOP presidential hopefuls meet at the debate in Miami tonight, sans Trump once more. Republican candidates seeking the nomination for the 2024 presidential nomination will debate tonight in Miami, but once again, in his absence, frontrunner Donald Trump commands attention. Hospitals in Israel move underground to keep working amid rockets from Lebanon. Across Israel, especially in the north, hospitals are setting up underground or fortified care facilities as fallout from war with Hamas intensifies fighting with militants in neighboring Lebanon. Like it or not, kids hear the news. Here's how teachers help them understand it. From second grade to seniors in high school, students are getting bombarded with news. Teachers are working to give them the tools to process it. Where the Republican presidential candidates stand on climate change? Well, as Republicans seek their party's nomination in the 2024 presidential election, their stances on key issues will be top of mind for voters. Climate change is particularly important to younger voters. A California town wiped off the map by wildfire is still recovering 5 years on. And 5 years after one of America's worst wildfires, slow and expensive recovery continues in Paradise, California, which could be important for what's ahead on fire-stricken Maui. And how does a computer discriminate? Okay, not exactly a computer, more like the wild array of technologies that inform what we consume on our computers and phones. Because of this episode, we're looking at how artificial intelligence and race bias intersect. Safiya Noble, a professor at UCLA and the author of the book Algorithms of Oppression, talks us through some of the messy issues that arise when algorithms and tech are used as substitutes for good old-fashioned human brains. Virginia Democrats win full control of the state legislature. Democrats consolidated their power in the state legislature and will act as a counterweight to Governor Glenn Youngkin's policy agenda. Houston mayor's race goes to runoff election. Houston, the fourth largest U.S. city, will have a runoff election between longtime Democrat State Senator John Whitmire and Democratic Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee. Virginia's governor declares a state of emergency over the wildfires. The governor's office singled out 2 wildfires of particular concern: the Quaker Run fire near and inside Shenandoah National Park, and the Tuggles Gap fire in southern Virginia's Patrick County. Meta failed to address harm to teens. Whistleblower testifies as senators vow action. Former engineer Arturo Bejar says he repeatedly raised the alarm to company execs about Instagram's harm to teens, and they failed to act. Senators vowed to pass a social media law this year. A pod of orcas has sunk a yacht in the Strait of Gibraltar. The pod ran the boat's rudder for about 45 minutes. Authorities were able to get crew members to land safely, but their yacht was irreparably damaged. And we cannot fail so big as war, a writer's lesson from examining the Korean War. In just over 200 pages, E.J. Ko's debut novel spans decades to tell the individual stories of lives impacted by the Korean War. And the House votes to censure Representative Rashida Tlaib for Israel-Hamas war comments. The House voted late Tuesday night to censure Representative Rashida Tlaib, she's a Democrat from Michigan, over her comments related to Israel and Palestinians. The High Court seems likely to uphold law banning guns for accused domestic abusers. If so, the decision would be a small retreat from the Supreme Court's sweeping decision on gun rights last year. And finally, an exonerated Central Park 5 member will win a seat on the New York City Council. Yusuf Salam was one of 5 Black and Latino teens who were wrongly imprisoned for raping a jogger in 1989 before their convictions were overturned in 2002. And those are the headlines for today, November 8th, 2023. All right, let's go now to, of course, the NBA. The scores from last night's games, there was a ton of them. Not too much, but let's see what we have here. That was okay. There was no games last night. So every game, tonight's games are the Jazz and the Pacers at 7 o'clock. The Wizards will face the Hornets in New Orleans at 7 o'clock. The Celtics will go to Philly to play the 76ers at 7. It's the Spurs and the Knicks at the Garden, the Clippers and the Nets in Barclays Center. The Lakers will take on the Rockets in Houston at 8 o'clock. Pelicans and Timberwolves in Minnesota at 8. Heat and Grizzlies in Memphis at 8 o'clock tonight. The Suns will face the Bulls in Chicago at 8 o'clock tonight. 8 o'clock, Cavaliers and Thunder in OKC. The Bucks will visit the Pistons will face the Bucks in Milwaukee at 8 o'clock tonight. The Raptors and the Mavericks at 8:30. Trailblazers and Kings at 10 o'clock tonight. And the Warriors and the Nuggets at 10 o'clock tonight in Denver. Now let's go to, All right, now let's go to the NHL. There's got to be some great scores from last night's games. Surely there's got to be something good. Let's see what we have here. Yesterday, yes, the Lightning beat the Canadiens 5-3 in a final. It was an OT game. The Hurricanes outlasted the Sabres 3-2 to pick up the 2 points, while the Sabres get 1 point for the overtime loss. The Wild beat the Islanders 4-2. The Red Wings lose to the Rangers 5-3. It was the Jets over the Blues 5-2. Coyotes take on the Kraken and crack them in the head 4-3 in a shootout, actually. It was the Flames over the Predators 4-2. Penguins shut out the Ducks 2-0. Avalanche beat the Devils 6-3. And the Sharks beat the Flyers 2-1. Tonight's games have the Senators at the Maple Leafs at 7 o'clock in Toronto. Capitals and Panthers will face off at 7:30 tonight. And the Kings go to Las Vegas to play the Golden Knights at 10 o'clock tonight. There's your look at sports. Very important sports scores as well, too. And, of course, tomorrow, don't forget, Thursday night football in all of its glory. The football season for Week 10 starts off tomorrow. We'll take a look at all those games for Week 10 tomorrow. But the scores for those finals won't be announced on this program till Tuesday of the following week. All right. Now, the other important information I wanted to talk to you about pertains to the 2 YouTube channels that I run 3 YouTube channels that are mine, that I own. And 2 of them will be shut down. And the reason being is because Facebook has decided to crack down on anyone posting repeated posts. I'm not sure why they started cracking down on this, but they accused me of spam. Why? Okay, first of all, anything that I record doesn't have anything to do with spam or for spam-related purposes, okay? The recordings that I record for the Smooth Jazz Show, the Legends of Smooth Jazz, and Jay's Retro Toys and Games are for YouTube and for the community of those particular areas. There's also Facebook group pages that were linked to those YouTube channels as well. I do that all the time because I know not everybody wants to have a YouTube channel or does have a YouTube channel or thinks they know if they do have one. But I'm saying this because it just makes it easier to go to the YouTube channel from Facebook, link it that way, and send you off to YouTube via Facebook so you can get the view and I can get the credit for that view. And that way everybody's happy. And that way you do not have to utilize a YouTube channel for the sake of it. But if YouTube is also forcing everybody to at least post a video or one video of themselves on YouTube, for that matter, to keep the channel open, things are going to get tougher, folks. So we really have to kind of work around these things. You know, I've been a podcaster for 14 years as of this year, and I've seen a lot of changes and had to go through a lot of different routes and links and connections and other websites and to bring you the material. And it's getting harder and harder to do this because social media is cracking down on stupidity. Let's put it this way. I always say go after the accounts that are really, truly fake accounts. And I can't tell you how many times I've reported so many fake accounts, so many trolling accounts, and they don't get taken down. But yet they come after me, the legitimate guy who's trying to, get the information out to you, and they slap a warning on me. And I told them, I said, look, my videos do not contain any spam. They do not contain any kind of derogatory thing, and they are to the point of the channel. But if Facebook wants to be, and Zuckerberg wants to be a pain in the ass, well, you know what, Zuckerberg? I can take my stuff off of you, off of your channel, your website, and go somewhere else. Because I know a lot of people have left Facebook because of your stupid policies and your procedures, you liberal bastard. Okay, I know what you're doing. Stop it. Okay, stop taking away and censoring the legitimate stuff that's on Facebook. Okay, it's not all about politics to you, Mr. Zuckerberg. Okay, we're not all about politics, and we don't want to hear you whining and complaining that everybody has to bow down to you. Okay, so enough. Okay, but if Facebook wants to play this game, I can take two of my channels down, and but the Legends of New York, the Legacy of New York, via Spotify and YouTube, and the Legacy of Queens, they'll stay up there. Okay, because the participation is there. I understand that people have lives, but you also expect us to give you quality programming to watch. You want us to do things for you, and we are doing things for you. The content creators are going out of their way to make great material, folks. You just got to continue to watch their channels and support them, not financially, but by going in there, thumbing up their channel, thumbing up their episode, and subscribing to their channel. They don't ask much. Heck, I don't ask much from my subscribers. All I ask is that you go there, view the video, and watch it. I know we all have short attention spans because I do look at the statistics and the durations of the videos, and I can tell that people are kind of bored after about a minute. Well, sorry, folks, but I don't do YouTube shorts. Okay, what I have to explain to you has a lot to cover, and I need the time to explain it. So that's why, that's why my videos are a lot longer than a minute and not as long as like 30 minutes, but on some videos they were almost 45 minutes. Whatever the case, that's okay. I'll think of something else to come up with, and we'll get back on track and maybe come up with another YouTube channel with a different theme. I don't know what we'll do, but it's a shame, though, with Retro Toys and Games that the channel has to shut down because we were doing fantastic. The first 2 seasons were great. Then we come into the 3rd season, and now all of a sudden our views can just like dropped. And it all started with the console wars with Atari. Don't know why. You were all waiting for the Atari console wars, the history of the product to come out, and the views weren't there, folks. Yet you gave a great view on the 5200, and then that's it. So I do look at these things, and I have to make an executive decision, and unfortunately it's going to be shutting down both the Facebook group page that is linked to it and the YouTube channels that are linked to it as well. That'll be all next week. On the flip side, the Queens New Yorker is on Spotify for podcasters, so look up that. I'll give you a link if you want. We're also, the Legacy of New York is on YouTube, with the Legacy of Queens on Spotify. So you still have me here. I'll be down to one YouTube channel, but like I said, I'll be splitting my time up between DMS 3000 News Live and, of course, hosting great shows on this channel and only having one YouTube channel. But maybe I'll come up with something next year around January. We'll see. There's usually something on my mind, and I'll try a different niche somewhere along the line. All right, it's 4:20, and that means we've got What Days Today, but we're going to go ahead and take a break. I think I want to give you guys a little bit of ingested information there, so digest this information, and we'll come back right after this important information.
This is Channel 13, KCOP Los Angeles.
The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
You can feel us coming now, a fresh look on the scene, with a whole new style of living, light and crisp and clean. That's why now we say the age of 7-Up is here, cause we love that crisp, refreshing taste, so light and crystal clear. Moving up, look it up. America is turning 7-Up, reaching up, feel it up. America is turning 7-Up.
Seven up, we see the light of 7-Up.
We couldn't have made it through the day without something to show the way, without something to keep us going.
And you can't make it through the night if you don't have some kind of light that's showing.
7-Up, 7-Up, we see the light of 7-Up, 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 we see the light of 7-Up, 7-Up.
Who knows what new word lurks in your dictionary? 80-do. Plumbing and heating problems. Who'll fix it like new? 80-do. Clogged sewers and drains. Who cleans it through and through? 80-do. Emergency service. Easy credit. Who has it just for you? 80-do. Call number 1. You know who.
80 has a nice clean sound.
We're in the white pages.
On the night before Christmas, I did last-minute shopping, ran home, got dressed, then went party hopping. I don't think I can face the day.
But fast relief is on the way. Hey, deck the halls with plop, plop, fizz, fizz, fa la 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 la, la la la, ha.
Don't let an upset stomach and headache turn you into a Scrooge. Take Alka-Seltzer, the sound of fast relief.
Oh, what a relief it is. Fa la 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 la, la la la, ha.
To an Alfie's lately, come on in. Where you been? Have a seat and dig in.
Don't you love it? Alfie's salad basket is made to order. You can have 8 different things like mushrooms, avocado, even salami. And Alfie's makes it up any way you want. Salads help me stay in shape. I'd like a dozen salads, please.
Have you been to an Alfie's restaurant?
Come on in.
Lately.
At American Airlines, doing what we do best means low fares and high standards. That's why
we're giving you
low fares on every flight.
We're giving our best. We're giving you
full service no matter what you pay.
We're giving our best.
Just what you'd expect from American.
We're giving our best. We're American Airlines, doing what we do best.
All right, welcome back to DMS 3000 News Live. Episode 69 is here. We're back and ready for another look at some of the great things going on, of course, in our episode today. And one of the things, of course, is what holiday is today. So let's go ahead and look at what day is today. And I found out that today is actually a good one for all you coffee drinkers out there. Today is Cappuccino Day. Oh, yes. So for all you guys out there, enjoy a cup of foamy deliciousness as we celebrate National Cappuccino Day. Double espresso, steam, milk, and foam. It's amazing that these simple ingredients can make us so happy. Start the day with a steaming mug of frothy cappuccino or wind down after dinner with a hot, relaxing cup alongside a rich dessert. So before we delve into the history of this fantastic morning wake-me-up, the cappuccino, let's go through some basics. Espresso coffee, forms the base from which cappuccinos are made. Espresso results from a highly pressurized process which forces hot water through dense, tightly packed grounds, resulting in less than an ounce of an incredibly strong brew with an earthy taste and rich aroma. Cappuccinos are made from espresso, hot milk, and lots of foam. There's an unverified legend that a 17th century monk named Marco de Avanio first created the cappuccino after the Battle of Vienna in 1683. Many historians conclude that cappuccinos do originate with a subset of the Catholic Church's friars, the Capuchin monks, around that same time. They call them the Capuchin monks, the Capuchin monks. Wow. But coffee, being the global drink that it is, has always found a place in Vienna. By 1805, an early version of the cappuccino, also known as the Kapunzer, starts to appear in Viennese coffee houses. These drinks were coffee with cream and sugar, but the name cappuccino is descriptive, and it refers to the deep brown color of the hooded frocks or cappuccinis worn by 17th century Capuchin monks in Italy. Later in 1901, Italian inventor Luigi Bezzera filed the first patent for an espresso machine. Now, that created wide demand for the delicious drink, but only a few restaurants could make cappuccinos because the machines were bulky and not easy to use. However, after World War II, technical improvements made espresso machines easier to use, and their popularity spread throughout Italy and other parts of Europe and the world. The rest is frothy, espresso-infused history. In the United States, cappuccino reached the zenith of its popularity, due in large part to Seattle and Starbucks. Although we honor National Cappuccino Day, no organization or person has stepped up to claim its creation. Still, we appreciate a wonderful part of a morning routine, so enjoy it. 1683, the early cappuccino was born. The earliest versions of cappuccino were recorded during the Battle of Vienna. 1901, the special machines patented. Luigi Bezzera of Milan patented the first espresso machine, though different than today's espresso machines. Cappuccino was defined in the 1930s as we call it today. This drink was first documented in Italy as a coffee topped with whipped cream and sprinkled with cinnamon or chocolate. In the 1950s, cappuccinos take on a new form. The first small cups appear alongside milk steaming espresso machines. And in the 1990s, coffee shops become a hot trend. And as the coffee shop trend catches on, so does the love of consumption of cappuccinos. So, what are we going to do today? We're going to drink up. Yeah, phone a friend and invite them to coffee. Catch up on life as you sip your daily dose of caffeine from a warm mug. What could be better? A second cappuccino. And buy an espresso maker. Don't let the fancy name fool you. Cappuccinos are simple to make with the right equipment. Buy an espresso maker and start enjoying your favorite caffeinated beverage at home anytime you want one. And share it on social media. If you don't share it, did it really happen? With so many baristas creating custom masterpieces in the foam, cappuccino is like art. Post your foamy artwork with the hashtag National Cappuccino Day for the world to admire. Here are 4 delicious alternatives for the cappuccino enthusiast. Try a latte. Yeah, lattes have the same amount of espresso as a cappuccino, but more milk, requiring them to be served in a larger cup. Add a flavored syrup to change it up. Sip a flat white. Yes, flat whites are prepared with a milder double shot of espresso and milk with very little foam. Sample a macchiato. Macchiatos are a great fit for the espresso lover as they match cappuccinos in their espresso measurement, but they contain less milk. And venture out with a cortado. For a slightly richer flavor, enjoy this Spanish hybrid with its equal parts of espresso and condensed milk sans foam. And why we love National Cappuccino Day? Well, we sip all the cappuccino our hearts desire. Sip away, To honor this beloved espresso beverage, let's indulge in an extra foamy cappuccino. Every coffee shop and a number of restaurants make them, so order up a cappuccino alongside your breakfast or dessert to cap off the day. We celebrate the rich history behind this beverage. The concept of cappuccinos dates back to the 1700s, stretching across Europe under a number of different names. The modern-day version was dubbed cappuccino, after the color of the monks' robes of the Capuchin order. That's hundreds of years of history brewed into one steamy mug. And it brings people together. You know, sharing coffee has a way of bringing people together, whether it's shared across a conference table or from a cozy coffee shop nook with good friends. A warm cup of cappuccino has a way of drawing a crowd. Buying someone a cappuccino is a love language all its own. There you have it, folks. What day is today in all of its glory? Look out for some more stuff tomorrow. We'll see what kind of good foods or beverages grace us with its presence tomorrow on What Day Is Today. Next, of course, will be the first of 3 articles, and we'll be looking at emotional intelligence, the skill that may be more important than IQ in achieving success, by Tina Don Vito. We'll be right back with that article right after this.
A is for apple, J is for Jack, cinnamon toasty apple jacks. You need a good breakfast, that's a fact. Starting off with apple jacks, apple jacks, apple jacks. There's a real apple, that's what it packs. Apple tasty, crunchy too. Kellogg's apple jacks, apple jacks, apple jacks.
Applejack cereal from Kellogg's, part of your good breakfast.
Apple jacks, apple jacks.
When you come to AFCO Financial Services, I do my best to make you feel comfortable.
Because AFCO is me.
Borrowing money can make anyone nervous. I'll help you relax.
Because AFCO is me.
When people know you care, the jitters go away.
9,000 people give you their guarantee.
I'll make you feel at home.
Our people put you in the best company. Because AFCO
Cream and sugar?
is me.
Bank AmeriCard, today's way to pay, presents
Yuletide presents, roasted pheasants, electric choo-choo trains,
Fur-lined mittens, fluffy kittens, sweet candy canes.
ski lessons, toboggans, bright lighting for the yard, cocktail glasses, airline passes with Bank AmeriCard. Quick healers, three-wheelers, vacations in the sun,
Sledding,
skating, party making, having fun. Bank AmeriCard. Bank AmeriCard.
today's way to pay.
Reach out and touch someone. Reach out, call up and just say hi. Reach out and touch someone.
Wherever you are, you're never too far. They're waiting to share your day. Reach out and touch someone.
Reach out and touch someone far away. Give them a call.
Big Fig here with that great new dance, the Newton. Hit it, Hal. Ooey gooey, rich and chewy inside. Golden flaky, tender cakey outside. Wrap the inside in the outside. Is it good? Darn tootin'. Doing the big Newton. Here's the tricky part. The big Newton. One more time. The big Newton. From Nabisco.
No little cinnamon gum freshens breath longer than Big Red.
So kiss a little longer, hug a little longer, state your case a little longer, longer with Big Red. That Big Red freshness lasts right through it. Your fresh breath goes on and on while you chew it. Say goodbye a little longer, make it last a little longer. Give your breath long-lasting freshness with Big Red.
If you love good fish, what a catch you can make right now at Bob's Big Boy. It's our fish and fries dinner. You get a chilled salad, freshly cooked French fries, 2 crisp fillets of fish, and a hot buttered bun. And during May, it's yours for only $2.69. Just try it and you'll be hooked.
Food so good, it's gotta be Bob's Big Boy, and oh, what a value.
Got a lot of good food, big boy. Hurry down to Bob's Big Boy. Got a lot of good food, big boy. Hurry down to Bob's Big Boy. Got a lot of good food, big boy. Hurry down to Bob's Big Boy. Got a lot of good food, big boy. Hurry down to Bob's Big Boy. Hurry down, hurry down, hurry down to Bob's Big Boy. At Bob's Big Boy, we love good food just like you do.
Welcome back to DMS 3000 News Live. It's episode 69 on this November 8th, 2023. It's Wednesday afternoon here at the WJDC studios in beautiful Oviedo, Florida, ready for another look at some great stuff. And our first topic of today is a good one. From all of the stuff now is coming from the Reader's Digest, and we've actually found some pretty good articles that we may share with you today. And the first one is something about emotional intelligence. 12, the skill that may be more important than IQ in achieving success. This is by Tina Donvito. This was updated yesterday, and it's coming out of the psychology area of the Reader's Digest. So, for more than 100 years, people have thought that IQ, or the intelligence quotient, was the measure of how smart you are. But researchers, psychologists, and business leaders are learning that there are more types of intelligence than the book smarts IQ tests measure, and that it's just as important, if not more, to have emotional intelligence. But exactly what is emotional intelligence? Well, emotional intelligence involves a complex array of capabilities that deepens our ability to identify, reflect, regulate, and manage feelings, says Deborah Serrani, a psychologist and professor at Adelphi University in New York. And when we can manage these feelings, we experience greater success coping with the demands of everyday life. In addition to helping our mental health and personal relationships, emotional intelligence can be equally useful in the workplace. There is a correlation between high EQ and success in life. You've probably heard it called soft skills, people smarts, or social savvy. EQ is all of this and more, says Jen Shirkani. She's a business leader, expert in emotional intelligence, and author of Ego versus EQ. Someone with high EQ can communicate with others effectively, can manage change well, is a good problem solver, uses humor to build rapport, has empathy, and remains optimistic even in the face of difficulty. And a big part of how to be smart is knowing how to read people by understanding yourself and others. Why is understanding emotional intelligence gaining more recognition? Life and increased mental health awareness have taught us that people are more than test scores, says Michelle Leno, PhD, licensed psychologist in Michigan. She says intelligence is diverse. We are more accepting of different types of smarts. But how do you know if you have emotional intelligence? And can you get it if you don't already have it? Well, yes, you can learn something new every day to grow your EQ, and here's how. What is emotional intelligence? Well, emotional intelligence is a set of skills that include one's ability to recognize their own impulses and moods, and the ability to read situations accurately and respond most appropriately, Shirkani says. Basically, EQ, also called EL or ELQ, is the ability to perceive and understand emotions in ourselves and others, Serrani says. Popularly identified and named by psychologist and science journalist Daniel Coleman in his 1995 book, Emotional Intelligence, EL has since become a trending topic, or EI, trending topic in psychology and business alike. The concept is as much about identifying and managing our own feelings as it is about handling the feelings of the other people in our lives. Someone with self-awareness can identify their own moods and their underlying causes and know when they are having an impact on the way they are behaving, Shirkani says. By reading others, they pick up non-verbal signals and understand their audience, which helps them then respond more appropriately, including using a good sense of timing. People with high emotional intelligence might also be adept at reading body language or be comfortable asking questions to understand what others are thinking and feeling. First and foremost, emotional intelligence can lead to greater personal understanding and fulfillment. Research has shown that those with a high EQ are better able to regulate their emotions in daily life, have greater levels of happiness, and may even be protected against being a victim of bullying in school. Emotional intelligence is so important because it gets us through the good and not so good times in life. It is responsible for self-confidence and self-love, Leno says. Emotionally intelligent individuals remember to self-check and ask questions such as, how am I doing today? Awareness of one's needs and efforts to meet them requires emotional intelligence. This self-awareness gives people with high emotional intelligence a greater ability to cope with stress and solve problems in their lives, she says. Second, understanding emotional intelligence is important in our personal relationships with others. Individuals with higher EQs tend to have greater meaningful connections and attachments to others and can negotiate the social and emotional aspects of life more effectively. Last, the importance of emotional intelligence shows up in the workplace. Research has proven that emotional EQ, is up to twice as important as IQ and technical skills for jobs at all levels, Shirkani says. Moreover, EQ can account for the entire advantage in positions of higher responsibility. Want to be a good manager? Well, EQ helps you to be fair but firm, assertive and sensitive. It allows you to show care while holding people accountable because you have made enough of an emotional investment in them that they know you are acting in their best interest, she says. Both Leno and Serrani note that a high IQ may get you through the door to a great career, but a high EQ will keep you there. And the ability to effectively manage an overwhelming workday or refrain from yelling at your boss involves EIQ, Leno says. So how is EQ different from IQ? Well, to help you understand what emotional intelligence and what isn't, let's start at the beginning. What is IQ? Well, according to Serrani, an IQ test measures cognitive abilities such as logic, planning, problem solving, adaptation, abstract thinking, reasoning, language, and the capacity to generalize. And we have placed greater emphasis on IQ since everyone wants to know how smart you are. Schools and employers focus on IQ, Leno says. And this is primarily due to long-held beliefs that a number derived from testing tells us everything we need to know about a person's skills. But employers are recognizing that there are more dimensions to an employee's potential than IQ, particularly when it comes to working on a team or managing others. When you can identify, understand, and use emotions positively to manage challenges and conflicts, to communicate well and empathize with others, you solve issues more effectively, Serrani says. Even in an academic environment, the student who gets a full scholarship to college but drops out prematurely due to feeling overwhelmed may have a high IQ and a low EIQ, Leno says. Another difference is that IQ is generally considered fixed throughout life and can't be altered, although some say IQ can be increased. The best news about EQ is that it can be learned, Shirkani says. Unlike IQ, which stays constant after someone is in their early 20s, EQ is a set of competencies one can develop, much like a technical skill. This could be why research has shown that EQ training can lead to greater EQ in business environments. Plus, EQ is correlated with maturity. Shirkani says there is typically an increase in your EQ over the course of your lifetime. That could be why a 2021 study in the Journal of Positive Psychology found that high EQ correlated with wisdom. Still, emotional intelligence and IQ are not completely separate. EIQ and IQ are similar in that they represent our capacity to accurately process information. Deficits in either area will cause us to misinterpret or miss relevant details and respond inappropriately. Leno says ELQ and IQ should not be separated as one relies on the other. And here are some signs of emotional intelligence you should be looking out for. Maintaining healthy relationships, being empathetic, being aware of your own emotions, setting boundaries, bouncing back from setbacks, celebrating smart wins, thinking objectively, and maintaining healthy relationships. Okay, but what is emotional intelligence in relation to your life? And exactly what does it look like? Serrani says that EQ abilities fall into 4 categories: perceiving emotions, understanding emotions, managing emotions, and using emotions to guide our thoughts. Our experts give us some examples of emotional intelligence giveaways, like being able to identify your own emotions. Emotional intelligence allows us to identify our feelings and their origins. Being able to read others. These people with high EQ can emotionally and mentally plug into others to read the situation at hand and behave accordingly to get the best results for everyone. Thinking objectively. Emotionally intelligent people see beyond black or white, and you're having a good sense of humor. EQ helps us remember not to take ourselves so seriously and be more self-deprecating. Being resilient. Emotional intelligence allows us to recover after a setback, Leno says. Not taking things personally. My EQ helps me understand that someone might not like my idea simply because it is not a good idea, or I haven't presented it well, Shirkani says. Having emotional intelligence results in someone who is not easily offended, someone with the tools they need to face uncomfortable conversations and address things they deem to be triggering before they escalate. Also, too, maintaining healthy relationships, setting boundaries, problem solving, sensitivity to others' feelings and moods, appreciating even small wins, and taking a break when needed. So there's no shortage of emotional intelligence tests, though not at all have been scientifically validated. Each measures EQ in a slightly different way, but you'll generally come across either self-evaluations or what's known as ability tests. Self-reported tests are exactly what they sound like. Easy to take EQ tests that ask you to answer a string of questions about yourself. Ability tests, on the other hand, ask you to solve problems related to emotions. For instance, they might ask you to pick up which emotion a person might feel before a job interview. They are even mixed EQ tests that combine both types. And how can you learn from EQ? Well, you can get a basic understanding of your emotional intelligence through online quizzes and screenings, but you'll have better luck turning to the pros. The most reliable and valid assessments occur with trained mental health professionals that administer tests like the Bar on Emotional Quotient, Inventory, the Emotional Abilities Test, the Emotional Competency Inventory 2.0, Emotional Self-Concept, Geneva Emotion Recognition Test, META, Emotional Beliefs and Test of Emotional Intelligence, the TIE. Serrani says a mental health worker can then help you boost your brain power in areas where you're lacking. In the business world, EQ training and coaching professionals can help evaluate employees or teams' EQ. We're going to take a break and continue on with our look at this fantastic article when we come back right after this.
We have a saying in the theater. I wonder if you've ever heard it. There's no business like show business.
Friendly Bennett Cerf and showstopper Ethel Merman always fly Braniff. They like our food, they like our girls, they like our style, and they like to be on time. Thanks for flying Braniff, folks.
When you got it, flaunt it. Ethel Merman.
Always ask your travel agent one question. Does Braniff fly there too? Braniff International. When you got it, flaunt it.
When you say but, you've said a lot of things nobody else can say. When you say but, you've gone as far as you can go to get the very best. When you say but, you've said the word that means you like to do it all. When you say but, it means you want the beer that's got a taste that's number one. When you say but, you tell the world you know what makes it all the way. When you say but, you say you care enough to only want the king of beers. There is no other one, there's only something less, because You've said it all.
Holiday greetings from Budweiser. The people who bring you Budweiser wish you and yours the very best of everything this holiday season.
Builders Emporium, Builders Emporium, for folks who like to do things.
Save 20% on GAF Sure Stick Decorator Tile. GAF quality at Builders Emporium prices. A super value now at just 27 cents per tile in a wide array of patterns and colors. Save $42 on this all-steel Quaker Springfield 10x10 storage building with double wide doors. Just $137. Quantities limited through Saturday.
Builders Emporium.
Yum, yum, bumblebee, bumblebee tuna. I love bumblebee, bumblebee tuna. Yum, yum, bumblebee, bumblebee tuna. I love a sandwich made with bumblebee. Bumblebee.
Bumblebee. You can tell it's the freshest tasting tuna. And you know something? Kids can tell too.
Yum, yum, bumblebee, bumblebee tuna. I love a sandwich made with bumblebee.
Welcome back to DMS 3000 News Live. Bumblebee tuna. Love it. I don't know if you used to eat it back when you were a kid. It was either chicken of the sea, bumblebee, or Star-Kissed, or some kind of other great tuna. Well, if you're in the mood for a good macaroni salad, I would suggest putting your favorite can of tuna fish on it, minus the oil. Get it a tuna in water. That would be the best way to do that. Well, let's continue on with the article on improving your emotional EQ here. Yep. Let's see. Let me see what we had to do here. Emotional intelligence. Yeah. So that's the intelligence and the emotional quotient. Happiness. Yep. All the good stuff. Let's see. There was one more bit of information I wanted to share with you on this article. Okay. So how can you learn your EQ? So you can get a basic understanding of your emotional intelligence through online quizzes and screenings, but you'll have better luck turning to the pros. The most reliable and valid assessments occur with trained mental health professionals that administer tests like the Bar-On Emotional Quotient Inventory and all those other great tests. And you can improve your EQ. While IQ remains constant, EQ can be enhanced and learned, and your ability to understand emotions can broaden over time. This could be why EQ training in businesses has taken off, because it works. So if you think your EQ score is not yet ideal, that's okay. EQ is not the measurement of one's personality. It is not a way to predict one's career, and it is not static. Contact a mental health professional for an evaluation or inquire at work about an EQ workshop for your team. Being able to understand your own emotions as well as others leads to greater emotional well-being and creates deeper meaning in your life. Great article. All right, let's look at what's up next here. The heart attack rates could increase if daylight savings time disappears, say expert doctors. Ooh. You know how many times they've been threatening to get rid of daylight savings time, folks? Well, we're going to look at that article right now because we just turned the clocks back a couple days ago. So I'll go ahead and pull that article up. Okay, this article was in the heart disease section. This is there an author to this article? I don't know. Luis Alaves provided some images. Okay. There's a very powerful signal that demonstrates the importance of a good night's sleep, says a heart doctor. The first weekend in November ushers in an earlier nightfall, but the extra hour of sleep you will hopefully gain this weekend makes the end of daylight savings time a slightly more palatable shift. And while the rest of us are snoozing, and while some lawmakers are debating whether this is more than 100-year-old daylight savings tradition should end for good, some cardiovascular researchers are monitoring data that demonstrates the remarkable effect that extra hour of sleep has on your health. So, according to Dr. Daniel Herman, an interventional cardiologist at Memorial Hermann in Houston, Texas, the results are rather striking. This year, data shows that the day after losing an hour of sleep, the risk of heart attacks increased by nearly 25%. On the other hand, the risk of a heart attack decreased by 21% the Tuesday after gaining the extra hour of sleep. Dr. Herman explains that most of the patients who experienced a heart attack had uncontrolled cardiovascular risk factors like elevated blood pressure, poorly controlled diabetes, high cholesterol, etc. Losing that precious hour of sleep seemed to be the final straw, this heart doctor says. This is a very powerful signal that demonstrates the importance of a good night's sleep, Dr. Herman explains, but it also demonstrates the fragility of health and the importance of doing what you can as an individual to maximize your health. So this weekend, enjoy that extra hour of sleep, but also take an opportunity to improve your heart health by eating a heart-healthy diet, exercising, and getting your risk factors under control. Dr. Majid Basit, also a cardiologist with Memorial Hermann in Houston, offers some tips to get better sleep this time of year as well as year-round. First of all, the bedroom should be for sleeping, not watching TV, not playing on your phone. The bedroom needs to be quiet, cool, and dark. Go to sleep around the same time every day of the week, and try to avoid drinking a lot of fluid before going to bed. Try to avoid caffeine 4 hours before going to bed. Well, for more wellness updates, subscribe to The Healthy at Reader's Digest newsletter and follow The Healthy on Facebook and Instagram. You can also keep reading Live in the Northeastern State. Doing the simple exercise daily could reduce your heart disease risk by 20%. And this was originally published back on November 2nd of this year. So we will be right back with a look at our third topic, the importance of men's friendships and how poker can make them stronger. We'll be right back right after this.
200 million people, no two are quite the same, each doing things their own way, each plays a different game, and most agree on some things, but all agree they say, everybody loves a burger if they can have it fixed their way. That's why America loves burgers. We're America's Burger King. Oh yes, America loves burgers, and we're America's Burger King. Oh, you can love them big, or love them small, and everything, or nothing at all. America loves burgers, and we're America's Burger King.
We make 600 million burgers a year, one at a time.
And we're America's Burger King.
C&H
Pure cane sugar.
from Hawaii.
Sweet Hawaii, grown in the sun.
When you cook, when you bake,
For goodness sake,
Get C&H.
pure cane sugars.
C&H.
Pure cane sugar. C&H. Pure cane sugar.
That's the one.
Those of you who still think bankers are on the stuffy side should meet the California First Bank softball team. At softball, they'll probably never make the league playoff. But as banking professionals, or just as people, you'll find them tough to beat. A lot of enthusiastic people at California First. They're helping us become one of the fastest growing major banks in California.
Come and meet the people at California
again. There's a glow in her skin, soft and clean to make a man look twice. And the coconut soap helps it look so nice. She's Camay all over.
Camay is the only leading beauty bar that's 1/2 coconut soap for creamier lather to feel soft all over.
Down to her toes, as soft as a rose. She used Camay all over.
Camay for beautiful skin all over.
How do you handle a hungry man? The manhandlers.
He's working up an appetite a manhandler can handle. Looks like my boy's grown up. He's ready for Campbell's Manhandlers, like beef soup, juicy beef, and sun-ripened vegetables. A big tasting soup, a man-sized part of a man's meal.
The manhandlers.
The Manhandlers. Good.
It's not too sweet. It's refreshing, crisp, and neat. Canada Dry Ginger Ale. It's not too sweet.
It's not too sweet. I repeat, it's not too sweet. Canada Dry cools your thirst. It's a taste that can't be beat.
It's not too sweet. It's a cold, refreshing treat. Canada Dry Ginger Ale. It's not too sweet.
Regular or diet, it's more refreshing because it's not too sweet.
Here are 3 good reasons to shop at Carpeteria. Quality, like this carpet made with new Encolon nylon pile with built-in Scotch Guard protection. Low discount prices, like this carpet made with Encolon nylon pile, just $13.99 a square yard, and a large inventory with thousands of rolls available for immediate installation.
Welcome back to DMS 3000 News Live. Hope you're having a fantastic time with us here on this program. November 8th, 2023. Hope you voted yesterday in Election Day. I heard that the elections did not go as well as we thought it was. I'm very disappointed in certain states that decided we're going to vote for the Democrats because of the fact that there's abortion rights. You know, folks, that's not the reason why you should be voting Democrat right now, okay? I'm not telling you how to vote, but right now we need some normalcy in this world, and the Democrats are not giving us normalcy. Now, we don't like to talk about politics on this show, and we're not going to, but the outcome of yesterday's elections tells me that next year's elections are going to be twice as bad, because if this is one of those topics that come up on the ballot, we're in for a long haul, folks, and it's on you. It's not on me. It's not on anybody else. You vote the way you want to, but right now, at this very moment, think about it. If you were in the shoes suffering at the hands of the federal government, would you change your vote today and go Republican after what you've seen right now? Take your blinders off. Get out there next year and vote for the right people to represent not only your country, but your state. That's all I got to say on it. All right, now, the importance of men's friendships and how poker can make them stronger. This is one from Relationships and Friendships. This was published, it's a long one, I hope, originally published April 18th by the Reader's Digest. Okay, there you go. So people who make time to hang out with friends have all the luck. Years ago, I lived next door to a pessimistic older man named Steve who told me that he hadn't had any friends since quitting his factory job 20 years earlier. The bowling league, happy hours, and poker games had all withered. Steve sat on his porch all day. Across the street was another neighbor, Werner. Now, weather permitting, Werner sat on a battered lazy boy recliner he'd set up on his lawn. The two men, both around the same age, stared at each other but rarely talked. When Steve collapsed on his porch, Werner watched as the ambulance crew tried to revive him. I went to Steve's funeral, a subdued event. There were just 4 of us, including a priest who hadn't met him. Steve and Werner are a handy metaphor for the kind of isolation that COVID-19 has visited upon many of us, an isolation that still lingers. And though we men were heading in that direction anyway, The percentage of males with at least 6 close friends fell by half between 1990 and 2021, according to the Survey Center on American Life. Well, what's going on with men's friendships? Simply put, men are in a friend recession. Guys are gifted in the art of isolation, the result of social conditioning and 10,000 years of evolutionary forces where cooperation has been offset by competition. The invention of the big screen TV hasn't helped either. And so, by middle age, we can find ourselves stranded. People move. We're occupied with children and work. We're tired. We're distracted. We change. And then there's our team mindset. A 2020 Oxford University study confirms what many guys will readily admit. Males prefer to socialize in groups rather than one-on-one. Groups are looser, less intimate, and shared activities often revolve around something, usually a sport, a bar, a fantasy football draft. But when the activity goes away, the group often goes with it. I reconnected with an old friend who had played professional football, and I asked him if he was in touch with any of his former teammates. No, he said. When football ended, those connections did too. Without that central activity to sustain them, they all vanished from one another's lives. There was a time when card games or beer league hockey or getting together to watch the Super Bowl was a sort of guilty pleasure, a vaguely senseless masculine activity. Now we're learning that these things, or at least the connectedness they represent, are fundamental to mental health. Well, poker, an anchor for men's friendships. 20 years ago, I was invited to join a poker game made up of writers, a few musicians, a lawyer, and a media guy. We met monthly, and the game became a sort of oasis. There were literally quarrels, laughter, discussions about music, and lots of stories. We didn't socialize much outside the game. Spouses and children got a conversational nod, but mostly remained in the background. That game became part of the essential fabric of my life, and it evolved with the group. We used to start at 7 p.m. with a martini and play until 2 a.m. Now there are no martinis, a lot less alcohol of any kind, and we quit before midnight. The haze of cigarette smoke is long gone. The food is better. Over 2 decades, we've gone from chips and pretzels to sushi and homemade tartinen. The two of our original players died and one moved away, but the game remains with new players joining, a new society forming. But when the pandemic arrived, we switched to Zoom games. We downloaded a poker app on our phones and looked at those 9 boxes containing our heads on our computer screens. The app dealt all 9 players instantaneously. So the Zoom version galloped along much faster than the live version, where the dealer would laboriously shuffle and deal or stop mid-deal to tell a story until someone finally barked, "Deal them damn cards!" Despite the efficiency, the app presented problems. It took all of our concentration to keep track on multiple screens of what was going on with each other and with the game. Conversational flow and easy banter didn't really happen. It felt like any online poker game, the kind played with anonymous strangers. 2 of the guys eventually pulled out, saying they'd wait until we get together in person. A couple of months later, when we finally reconvened for our live game after a 2-year break, we rejoiced. We didn't care that someone's dog ate much of the food we put out. We didn't mind the slow dealing, the stories, and losing hands. It was just good to see everyone, to talk, and to feel the comfort of the group. So isolation is a common factor in male suicide, particularly men who are middle-aged and older. It's one reason their suicide rates are 3 times higher than those of women. According to Robin Dunbar, an evolutionary psychologist at Oxford University, women really do have more friends than men, and women's relationships with their friends are more intense. Loneliness already played a role in men's declining mental health, but the pandemic created more isolation, followed by a global spike in depression and anxiety. Many people who have been working at home are staying put. Some offices are opening up again, but not everyone is going back, at least not full time. And those who are may find themselves in an almost empty office, often a lonelier feeling than working from home and without the lunches with clients or after work drinks with colleagues. Even though getting together with other men is beneficial for mental health, in my experience, there are limitations to men's groups. The biggest one being that they just aren't conducive to discussing emotional issues. At my poker game, we celebrate one another's successes, but we rarely acknowledge failures or vulnerabilities. And this can be taken to extremes. One of our guys died of cancer without telling any of us he was sick, and we thought Bert looked a bit thin, a bit tired. Then he was gone. Well, now we'll look at men's friendships with women. In a 2018 article in the American Journal of Men's Health about men's social connectedness and mental health, the authors wrote that men often seek emotional connections outside of male groups. We look to women, wives, sisters, female friends, which allows us to maintain a pattern of masculinity in public while seeking emotional support from women in private. The Oxford University study that observed that men like socializing in groups also noted that women prefer to socialize one-on-one. Now, it's a setting more conducive to discussing fears, vulnerabilities, getting really personal, which is one reason friendships with women are the perfect complement to male friendships. I have a spouse to confide in and a few female friends I regularly meet one-to-one for lunch. But research shows that men get more out of male-female friendships than women do. And the dynamic is much different from getting together with the guys, as much as I love doing that. When I am with my female friends, we talk about our children, work, the state of everyone's health, and our aging parents. We have a glass of wine and talk for 2 hours, and I emerge into the afternoon light, unburdened, and I like to think they do too. There isn't much research on male-female friendship, but the research that does exist points out one perhaps obvious fact. Men generally get out more out of male-female friendships than women do, and women already have female friends with whom to share feelings and fears. All they gain from us is the male perspective, which may not always be uplifting. And there are issues with heterosexual male to female friendships, chiefly the potential for sexual tension. Now, in a study published more than 20 years ago in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, women reported this as the least appealing aspect of having a male friend, while for men it was one of the main reasons to initiate a female friendship. The research, while not new, supports the view made famous in When Harry Met Sally in the 1989 film. Billy Crystal says to Meg Ryan, "Men and women can't be friends because the sex part always gets in the way." And Ryan asks if that means men can be friends only with women they don't find attractive. Nope, Crystal answers, saying that men want to have sex with them too. So there are risks to male-female friendships, which can, of course, be compounded by jealous partners, though not mine, thankfully. However, the rewards of cross-sex friendships, as researchers call them, are significant, at least for men. I'm just really glad to have both types of friendships. I can meet my female friends for a nice lunch, a glass of wine, and unburdening, then head off to poker. So there you have it, friends. From a perspective of a guy who literally knows what it feels like to have both male and female friends and all that other great stuff, well, you know, what I say to that is you really have to kind of make sure that who your friends are, who you want to be friends with, and who you really want to go after as far as a relationship with somebody, even if it's somebody you know over 25 years. The important thing is let that person know where you stand on the level of friendship or relationship, for that matter, so that they don't have a surprise coming for them later. Let's take a look at the comments. A link to what? You want what kind of link do you want, Internet Waffles? Let us know, and we'll get you that article on either men's friendships or something else. If you're interested in any of the links that we have for you as far as the topics of it, most of it comes from the Reader's Digest. We'll get you those links at any given time so you can read them. If there's anything that you would like us to talk about, we can definitely set that up as well. So send us a private message via David St. Dennis or myself, and we will definitely get you to where you got to go for the resources and stuff. As far as the importance of friendship, men and women need good friends because it's always good to have somebody in your life that you can trust for whatever the bad things in life happen. Or just to have somebody to call up and say, hey, what are you doing today? You want to go out and have lunch? You want to go out and have dinner? The great thing about it is that I can call my best friend in Longwood at any given time and ask him if he wants to go out to eat Friday night. And he'll say yes. Knowing that whether I pay for the meal or he pays for the meal, one thing is for certain, he's getting out of the house. And I get to see him at least once or twice a week or 2 weeks or whatever the case may be. Bottom line is we catch up. And we know that we're busy trying to continue to work and bring in money and, have sanity. The one thing my friend doesn't do is put pressure on me to hang out with him. He knows that things have to be done or things have, he knows that I'm busy and that he's busy. And when we do talk, we do catch up on a lot of things. I have a friend in Pennsylvania I've known for close to 30 years, but I don't talk to him as much. And it's not because I had beef with him the last time. No, it's because he's busy with his job up in Pennsylvania and I'm busy with my stuff that we don't really know when to talk to each other. We've talked on the weekends, we've touched base. Of course, we have Facebook and, I'm friends with his family. So I do keep in touch some way or another. So really, there's no need to call like we used to back 30 some years ago when we didn't have social media. I think that's the reason why we call less and less and we have less and less friends, but we have more and more on social media. We have social media to thank, but we can also blame social media for losing our friends, some of our best friends, over something really stupid. So you can vouch for the fact that you've been there and done that. Then you know what it feels like to lose a friend and have to block somebody because their behavior on social media was so bad that how in the world could you hang out with them then? And then they turn like this now. It's amazing what social media will do. We'll be right back with the motivation of today. Not have a great day, but the motivation of today. And I got a few jokes as well, too. We'll be right back right after this.
This is Channel 13, KCOP Los Angeles.
The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
You can feel us coming now, a fresh look on the scene, with a whole new style of living, light and crisp and clean. That's why now we say the age of 7-Up is here, cause we love that crisp, refreshing taste, so light and crystal clear. Move it up, look it up, America is turning 7-Up, reaching up, feel it up, America is turning 7-Up.
Seven up, we see the light of 7-Up.
We couldn't have made it today without something to show the way, without something to keep us going.
And you can't make it through the night if you don't have some kind of light that's showing.
7-Up, 7-Up, we see the light of 7-Up, 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 we see the light
Who knows what new word lurks in your dictionary? 80-do. Plumbing and heating problems. Who'll fix it like new? 80-do. Clogged sewers and drains. Who cleans it through and through? 80-do. Emergency service. Easy credit. Who has it just for you? 80-do. Call number 1. You know who.
80 has a nice, clean sound.
We're in the white pages.
On the night before Christmas, I did last-minute shopping, ran home, got dressed, then went party hopping. I don't think I can face the day.
But fast relief is on the way. Hey, deck the halls with plop, plop, fizz, fizz, fa la 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 la.
Don't let an upset stomach and headache turn you into a Scrooge. Take Alka-Seltzer, the sound of fast relief.
Oh, what a relief it is. Fa la 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 la.
Have you been to an Alfie's lately? Come on in. Where you been? Have a seat and dig in.
Don't you love it? Alfie's salad basket is made to order. You can have 8 different things like mushrooms, avocado, even salami. And Alfie's makes it up any way you want. Salads help me stay in shape.
I'd like a dozen salads, please.
Have you been to an Alfie's restaurant?
Come on in.
Lately.
At American Airlines, doing what we do best means low fares and high standards. That's why
we're giving you
low fares on every flight.
We're giving our best. We're giving you
full service no matter what you pay.
We're giving our best.
Just what you'd expect from American.
We're giving our best. We're American Airlines, doing what we do best.
All right, welcome back to DMS 3000 News Live. Episode 69 is getting close to it. Hey, nicely done. How you doing there, Emu? Oh, I hope you got to see a great movie. We'll see you tonight on Wipe Those Tears. Speaking of Wipe Those Tears, yes, we're going to be on tonight at 9 o'clock, ready to go for another edition, episode number 10. And me and the boys are going to pretty much continuing our look at NES games. We're getting into the C's now. But I do have a great piece of information to kind of pass along with you. In 2 weeks, on the 23rd, on the 22nd, which is that Wednesday before Thanksgiving. Let me put it to you this way, folks. We have a different topic that's going to be looked at just because it's Thanksgiving week. We're going to be a little bit more, We're going to be looking at the different Macy's Thanksgiving Day balloons that graced us with its presence from the past 97 or more holidays that came on. And he says, oh, it was good. And it was the same movie I saw back in September 29th because I can't get enough of that movie. Always have to go see another got to see it again kind of person. All right, well, good. That's good to know. But yes, we'll be looking at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day balloons. There's a whole bunch of them, which we'll rate up on those tiers. Tonight on the program, we have an interesting lineup of guys. Generally, we have Johnny Pizzi with us. We have Brandon Bogard. And tonight, filling in from Mark Leota, Jordy Sco will be with us. So that's going to be great. It's nice to have Jordy around to fill in. But if you'd like to be on the show, drop us a request for an invitation, and we'll gladly have you on. Get it to us before 8 o'clock tonight Eastern time, and you can be on the 2-hour program, Wipe Those Tears. All right. Well, I was trying to get a joke or something in here, and I couldn't pick one out. But let me see. I don't want to pick up a story, but let's see if we got some jokes here that might be funny. Let's see. Because we had some funny stories and photos. All right, let's see. Well, submit a joke. Okay. Let's see. All right, let's see what we got here. No, we don't want. Okay, we don't want that. That's for Halloween and Thanksgiving. Okay. All right, let's see. 108 sarcastic quotes that are perfect mix of witty and clever. We're not going to go through all 108 because we won't have time. But here they are. Let's see. Where are we going? Okay. This one's by Fred Allen, who says, I like long walks, especially when they are taken by people who annoy me. Groucho Marx says, you know Groucho Marx, You Bet Your Life, and the Marx Brothers. If you find it hard to laugh at yourself, I would be happy to do it for you. Who the heck is this? Abba Iban says, history teaches us that men and nations behave wisely once they have exhausted all other alternatives. Oh, wow. Here's Jane Austen, Northanger Abbey, says, I cannot speak well enough to be unintelligible. This one's from Unknown. It says, when one door closes, another opens, or you can open the closed door. That's how doors work. And finally, Salvador Dali, you know, that famous painter who paints those crazy, wacky paintings, the French painter. He says, have no fear, perfection. You'll never reach it. There you go. Oh, my goodness. Man. Some of the interesting, more sarcastic quotes of the day. But we've got the motivation of the day from our friend Ralph Marston for Wednesday, November 8th. And it's titled, Get Playful. He says, carry a sense of playfulness into the heart of whatever you're doing. You have work to get done, and you might as well make it fun. Start things off with a smile. That in itself elevates your mood and ignites your creativity. So discover how you can be resolutely serious about what you're doing while maintaining a playful demeanor. As complicated, difficult, and demanding as life can be, you're able to have fun with it. Playfulness connects you with an authentic person you are and with the authenticity in others as well. That will boost your energy, unleash that creativity, and enhance resourcefulness. Do successful people have fun because they're successful? Or are they successful because they have fun? It's probably some of both. Yet it never hurts to find out for yourself. Not only is playfulness fun, it's powerful. So why not? There you have it, friends. From Ralph Marston to you, always on the Daily Motivator. I'm Jason Icanio, and thank you very much for a great show today. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a great evening. And we're going to change it to have a great evening because by the time we finish this show, it gets dark over here. We'll keep on the lookout for some more great stories from us tomorrow. Don't forget, wipe those tears. Let's talk football at 7:30 tonight. Gentlemen, I wish I could be there. Going to run a little later with dinner tonight, but maybe I'll drop by for a complete Jets rant from last week or something of that sort. But anyways, tune into the great programs tonight on DMS 3000 News Live, or not the David 3000 Network, because there's fantastic programming going all around up until 11 o'clock tonight, and I sure as heck will be there. From all of us here at DMS 3000 News Live, I'm Jason Icanio. Remember, be honest, be real, and keep it simple, stupid. Kiss. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Advertising Network for great more content like this one.